Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello and welcome back to Business Today. Viewers, again today we have a very special topic, and it's a topic that we want to carry on and continue with. It's about women entrepreneurship. And today, without actually prolonging the introduction, I want to actually introduce my guest, who is a woman in business, and it's a rather different business. And I'll be honest with you, I'm quite surprised. I didn't really realize there is somebody within the Bengali community, and she's a lady who is actually running a funeral business. Now, it's not an easy business to run, I understand, and I thought it would be wonderful to have this wonderful guest on board today. And without further ado, I'll introduce you to Miss Hasina Zaman. Welcome onto the show.
Thank you.
Okay. Hasina, before we start every show, to our viewers, we want to introduce you. So I'd like you to introduce yourself to our viewers, a bit about your background, how you started, or your educational background, and how you got into the business.
Yeah, so my name's Hasina Zaman, and I'm from East London. So hello, East London. I actually grew up in Whitechapel, Stepney, and I feel very proud of that. And every opportunity I get, I always mention that, because I believe that you should be proud of your roots. And yeah. I grew up in the 70s, so it was a very different type of Whitechapel and Stepney and Tower Hamlets at the time. So yeah, I went to primary school in Harry Gosling, right, not very far from Brick Lane, and then I went to secondary school at a place called Sir John Cass, not far from here. And I went on to do some community work. I left school at the age of 17.
Okay.
I didn't get many qualifications, and I found it really hard, because when I came to from Bangladesh just after the war, I couldn't speak, actually, not even not speak Bangla, but I couldn't speak English. And that really, I just used to sort of spend my time thinking, what's going on here? Yeah. I didn't have much idea, so really I would say it stunned my...
I guess life was very different then.
It's very, very different. I couldn't figure out what was going on a lot of the times. And I think it took me to be my secondary education to realise, what was I just about learnt to read then, and writing was still very difficult for me. So, and then also I couldn't really read Bangla very well, or write Bangla, because again I wasn't
7 years
at that school. I was at that,
and everything, yeah.
The whole war thing, and so yeah, I left school at 17. I worked in the community, in the Bangladeshi community predominantly, for about 5 years, and then I really so when I was at school I was really good at sports, and I still love sports. And in fact, today I actually went mountain biking up in Suffolk. So, so I wanted to become a sports teacher, and then I did. I became a sports teacher. Then I taught at Tower Hamlets College. I taught at the business school for about 15 years, and then I left teaching because it's not that because I found it difficult. It's because I had 4 children under the age of 9 at the time. Okay. And I went through some really tough times in my personal life, and so I became a full-time mum for about 4 or 5 years, and then I realised that if I don't do something with my life, that the future of my life and my children's life looked really bleak, and actually looked horrifyingly depressive. I just thought. And when you work in the finance world, but when you work with like your future and you can't see a way out, that's a very, very telling sign.
That is, yeah.
So for me, that looked
why did you feel that
well, because I felt that if I hadn't got into a position, and I'm being straight honest here, where I was going to be able to support my children financially and myself financially, that they were just going to be like on the dole, as in being on benefits, living in council housing. I mean, I've got nothing against that, but I just thought to myself, I could actually make a difference here.
Exactly,
and that was a turning point. So my future, looking bleak, looking depressive, I said to myself, right, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to do something, and then I just prayed. I just literally prayed, and I said, Ya Allah, please show me something that I'm going to make such a difference to other people that I'm not even going to be able to worry about my children's future. That their future is going to be taken care of, because I'm just going to know that it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started looking to do a business, and I pitched to a business consultant, and he liked the business that I pitched.
Okay. And it was this particular
And it was
business.
the funeral directing
Okay.
business.
Okay.
And I have to be honest, at the time, 2012, when I pitched the idea, it was the Olympics, you know, sport is my passion, sport is my, and I thought, no, I don't want to start a business. I want to watch the Olympics. I love the Olympics, so I went and saw some of the Olympics live, and I watched most of it from TV. But simultaneously, I started doing a lot of research. I have a research background, you know, I have a teaching background. So, and I visited lots of cemeteries that summer. I visited lots of funeral directors that summer. And I just became very engrossed in the funeral directing business.
Okay. Now, coming into your business, before just coming into your business, I just want to ask you, you know, the question like, okay, you've decided you want to do business. It's all easy to think that I want to do this. Okay. Obviously, you've had a lot of hurdles. What about the response you've had from the family, immediate family, mom, dad? How was that?
So my mum passed away over 22 years ago, so my mum wasn't here. But in many ways, my mum's death and my mum's funeral was really a catalyst for the business.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law died a couple of years before that to suicide.
Okay.
And so those two deaths, the experience of those two deaths was so traumatic, so devastating, that I thought, right, I'm going to start a business based on compassion and care, because I felt that's what was missing for me.
Okay.
So that's why I started the business based on, and then hence we call compassionate funerals.
Okay.
And again, you know, we live and work in a multi-racial, a diverse community. You know, like the term Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Allah is the most compassionate, Allah is the most merciful. I couldn't call my business, you know, Bismillah Rahman Rahim or even Rahim, because nobody would, who would buy, you know, who would use our services apart from Muslims. And I didn't want to do a service for that. I actually wanted to do a service for the whole community, partly because I've always worked in that whole community. I haven't worked in...
have a relationship already built.
Yeah,
in the community.
yeah, I did actually. And also I hadn't only worked within a segment community. I did when I was in my, you know, my teenagers. So in that sense, yeah, so we built I built the business around compassion.
Brilliant. I'm going to come on to your father and everything, but just before that, we're just going to go into the break now, and we'll come back to it. Viewers, stay tuned. We are just going to go into a break, and we're going to expect you to hear about what Hasina's father's reaction was when she was going into business. See you after the break. Stay tuned.